Welcome yogis and yoginis. My name is Salvador, and today's class is going to be based in how to enter your practice. When I say how to enter your practice, it means we're going to go back into the basics, into the foundation. So it's going to be a very slow, basic class. Now, basic doesn't mean that advanced people cannot get a benefit out of it. Beginners, intermediate, and advanced can all benefit from a basic classes, because it's always good to slow down and to revisit all the stuff that you may know and some things that you may not know. So we're gonna go very slowly, and we're gonna take a look at details of how to do the poses. So it's gonna be a hot class based in alignment, okay? And I like to have the idea of being a sustainable foundation. When I say sustainable, it means that you have to adapt the practice to your own body. If you ask 10 different people what yoga means, they will give you 10 different answers. If you have 10 people doing the same pose, they will all look different, and they will feel inside something completely different. So it's not about imitating poses, it's not about imitating the teacher, it's about finding the pose within your body. Okay? So it's using the poses to understand and know your body, know using your body to do the poses, because that can harm yourself and can create problems in the long run. Okay, so let's do a sustainable foundational class. Okay, so we're gonna start the class actually in child's pose, and you may need a block. You can get a block in any yoga studio. If you don't have a block, you can get a book that you don't use. So a big book this thick may help you. And I'm gonna take child's pose, but look at my hands. I'm gonna suction cup my hands. I'm gonna extend my arms, and I'm gonna lift from my armpits all the way. I'm gonna send my seat bones down into my heels, and then inhale, lengthen, come all the way down here. So the first thing that I'm gonna have in mind is the strength of the arms. How this arm, you see, is activated. I'm suction cupping my hand, so my arm is active. And then I'm lifting my shoulders so it's not dropping, lifting. From here, I'm gonna flatten my hands on the floor. I'm gonna keep breathing. Especially when you are in child's pose, it's nice to breathe in your back. So you feel the kidneys, you feel the lower back puffing up and down, up and down. With the next inhale, you lift your head, look between your hands. Exhale here. And inhale, come into all four. I'm going to open my feet with the width of the mat. And I'm going to walk my hands slightly forward. From my chest, I'm going to run. So I'm pushing my mat. I'm pushing the mat in that direction, as if I was trying to stretch the mat. And as I push the mat, my heart, my chest rounds and comes in. From there, I'm going to do exactly the opposite in my pelvis. So my pelvis is going to mutate in this way. So I'm anteriorly tilting the pelvis. So you see that I have an arch here, and I want to keep a little round here. And from there, I'm going to start to lift my knees out of the floor and keep the same pushing action through your hands, and keep the same round in your lower back. Okay? Stay here with your head between your arms. And very slowly, I'm going to send the front of my legs back. So I'm going to begin to straighten the legs, straight legs, keep the heels up, and again, stick Kick your butt up to the ceiling. One more breath. As you exhale, heels down. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, knees to the floor. I'm leaning over towards the top of the mat now. And my knees are on the floor, so I'm gonna lengthen through my chest forward and begin to lower down very slowly. Now, see that I'm not collapsing, but I'm bringing my chest and my belly in. I'm going slowly, slowly, slowly down. I'm pressing the top of the feet to come up halfway. Long neck, and then I curl the toes and press back into downward facing dog. And so remember, this is the idea of today's class. We're gonna be adding, accumulating things. So remember, when you go to dog, the arch in your lower back, the pushing in the hands, the moving of the legs back. And I'm going to add one more thing, that is to broaden in your shoulders. So you're going to broaden the area of the shoulders. See, I'm micro bending my elbows and getting wide here. Look between your hands, bend the knees and begin to walk your feet towards your hands. Some of you may not be able to touch the floor. So what you do? You bend the knees. You bend the knees and get your spine to round and to elongate this way. If you are able to extend the legs, fine, do so. Some others may want to use a block. If you have a block or a book, you elevate the floor. From here, I'm going to bring my hands into my hips and create a space. As I inhale, I lengthen the spine. And so see the shoulders, how they move back and how the neck gets long, as if I was being pulled through a string through the crown of my head and through my tailbone in the opposite direction. So I have two opposite directions elongating. And micro bending at the knees, I'm going to come all the way up. That's it. Now let's take a look at the standing pose, which is very important. Some people stand like so, and so when they walk something like this, very funny. Some others, they stand this way. So we just want to find the right middle, where you are no here, but right in between. And the same thing happens with the shoulders. The shoulders can be falling forward, hunching, or too far back. So again, we want to be right in that line. That if you imagine a line coming through the side, will be the side of my ear, my shoulder, my hip, my knee, and my ankle, all in one line. Okay? So this is called Tadasana. And we stand in Tadasana with 2 fist distance between your feet. So your feet are 2 fist distance. Your knees are micro bent. And now to activate the muscles of your legs, I'm going to ask you to lift the kneecaps. Those are the kneecaps. And I'm going to lift it. So they're falling, I lift them. Falling, lift. So I want to lift. Having the legs strong, hugging the legs in. If you want to add the block, you can put the block in between your legs and hug them in so the muscles of your legs are getting strong. To incorporate more strength into your legs, you lift the toes. So lift 10 toes up and spread them wide. Keep a micro bend in the knee. Keep lifting the kneecaps up. Feel that sensation, and now take the toes down to the floor. From there, keep rounding in this area. Elongate the size of the body, shoulders back, and take a big breath in to come all the way up with your arms. Reach up. You can look up or just stay looking forward to the horizon. But keep the lines of the body, the size of the body nice and long. That's it. As you exhale, bend the knees and walk your feet in slightly. I'm going to squeeze the block, especially the front of the block, in. Squeezing with the legs, sitting a little lower into Utkatasana, chair pose. So imagine that you're going to sit into a chair. So you're going to sit. In order to sit, you have to lower down and stick your butt that way. But don't go too much. Stay right in between. And as you inhale, again, arms nice and strong, size of the body long, shoulders back, look up. As you exhale, you open the arms to the side and you press the feet against the floor to come up into Tadasana. As you inhale, you go all the way up. This time, palms together, you look at your thumbs. As you exhale, keep squeezing the block here and dive forward. As you inhale, lengthen the spine one more time. Remember, you want to create a space here, lengthening. And as you exhale, release down. Release the block to the side. And I'm going to tell you a little about Uttanasana. This pose is called Uttanasana. And so sometimes you have people falling forward too much, like so, or back. So my hips are far behind. So again, I want to just get that right line where the ankle, the knee, and the hips are all aligned. And then if I have a space, I elongate and then I fall. You can clasp. You can hook. You can hold each calf muscle. Or you can just stay here, or here, or here, wherever you are. Another option is to bend the knees in Uttanasana, very helpful. And as you inhale, halfway up, exhale, plant your hands down and step the right leg back. And again, all the poses that we are stopping and taking time to learn how to do them, they're the most common poses in yoga. So not a lot of people take time to learn how to do them. So it's good to sometimes take time and see what is happening. So this pose is the Anjaneyasana or runner's lunge. And so see my leg. My leg is lifting towards the ceiling. And see this knee is right in the line of the ankle. Right? I'm going to come with my hands over my leg and then move the shoulders back. You can bring your hands into your hips actually, and again increase that, roll the shoulders back, bring the elbows in. Now tendency is for the right leg to bend. I'm not going to let it bend. I'm going to extend that leg and lift up, and the heel is over the toes. From here, once you're ready, you're going to give a little tilt at the pelvis, bend the front knee a little more, and then take your arms up. You can look up. Exhale, take your hands down to the floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend forward. We're going to go all the way up. Inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana. Look up. Exhale, Tadasana. Remember all the actions. Again, keep adding on. Remember the grounding of the feet, the lifting of the knees, the hugging action. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway up. If you need to feel your legs, lift the toes again and feel that sucking energy going up into your hips. Exhale, step the left leg back. Stay here for a moment, focusing in the back leg first. Lift it, keep it straight. Make sure that the knee is over the ankle. And once you're ready, come up. Now, another thing that usually happens in Anjaneyasana is that the knee falls to the side, like so, or inward, like so. So you see, I lost my balance. I want to keep that knee right on track, on the track of the second toe. Okay, so once that is ready, once the other leg is ready, I move back, shoulders back, inhale, take your arms up, and if you have enough balance here, you can look up. Exhale, take your hands down to the floor. This time, instead of stepping forward, I'm going to step back into plank pose. Knees to the floor, and take a rest here if you need to. I'm going to show you a few things in plank in terms of how to position your hands. My index fingers, those two, are pointing forward, making an L shape. The other three fingers are pointing out. And the wrists are aligning with my shoulders. So then when I come to plank, my arms are wide. As wide as my shoulders, or even a little wider. So usually, this is what happens in plank. Your pigu goes up. So I want to take my pigu down, stuck it in, make a strong line, and then send my chest forward. Okay? From here, you can do with one leg. Knee down, bend the elbows, down, slow, very slowly, and up. Stretch both leg, knee down, slowly, and up. Alright? So this is called plank pose. You can rest if you need. Take a rest. Now, we usually go from plank pose to Chaturanga. Chaturanga Dandasana is this pose. So when you hold here. So now, my shoulders are at the level of the elbows. My legs are squeezing in. My buttocks is in, and I'm leaning forward. And here you shake, because it's hard. You have to stay here. Now, how to, you won't go too low. For example, I have a block. I don't want to go lower than the block, so I stop here. Or you can place a block in the middle of your chest and stop here. So you know where to stop. Plank pose, Chaturanga. Plank pose, Chaturanga. Okay? See my elbows. My elbows are not opening to the side. They are pointing back. Fingers in. Another very important part of it is your core. Those two poses actually are core work. So when you're here, you're holding not only from your arms, but from your core, from your dantian. So I'm holding core strong, leaning slightly forward, broadening the chest, bending the elbows, lower down. Now press the top of the feet. Inhale, Cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to keep talking about the basics of that transition. But now we're going to move into another leg work, leg position. So step with the exhale, the right foot forward. Now, again, I have distance between my feet. And look what is going to happen with my back foot. I'm going to spin it out. Okay? So it's 45 degrees. My heels may be in the same line or slightly separate. Okay? I'm going to bend that knee and come up. Now, this is what usually happens with your hips. So as much as you can, this is not necessary, but as much as you can, you want to square the hips. But don't force it too much, otherwise you're going to hurt your knee. You're going to put a lot of pressure on the knee. So as much as you can, square the hips, bending this front leg deep. Now, one of the things that usually happen is that the back foot will lose control of the back foot. So I'm going to lift my toe in order to ground that back foot. The outside of the foot is grounded. And so then I have that back leg strong. So then when I look forward, square my shoulders, I can feel this leg working strongly. Arms up, look up. Exhale, take it down to the floor. let's put all the stuff together now. Plank pose, lean forward, broaden your chest, lower down. Inhale, Cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here for a second. Same thing on the other side. So step your left foot forward. Back foot 45 degrees. Once you're ready, come up. What happened with the front knee? Remember, usually, go to the side, go to the side. No good. Mayo. So that goes right in the line of the second toe, bending. A strong back foot. Lift the big toe of the back foot. Square the shoulders. If you can, square the hips. Now you are a warrior. This is warrior one. So you feel that strength as a warrior. Gather it all in and then take it up. And then exhale. Down. Now, stopping your knees. Look at my chest. Usually, people shrink like so. Look, this is bad for my neck. I'm shrinking everything. So I want to broaden here. Create a space. So when I come forward, I'm going towards you. Forward. Bending at the elbows. Looking forward. Keep looking forward. Suck your belly. Lower, lower. Nice. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, so from downward dog now, I'm going to ask you to take your knees down to the floor into all four. Now we're going to change. We're going to do a standing pose, but with a different patterns at the hips. So the poses that we were just doing, the hips are square, facing this way. Now we're going to open the hips. So this is what is going to happen where the femur meets the hip. This is what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to ask you to extend your right leg back, and only from here, turn. Take a look. I'm not going this way. My hips stay down. I'm only turning from the femur and down, in, out, and in, out, and in. Okay, pretty simple. Let's do it on the other side. Same thing. Take your leg back, get it active, activate the foot, and only from the hip, from the femur, sorry. The hips is still down as much as you can. Okay? All right. So take it back into downward dog and do exactly the same in dog. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to extend my right leg back and open from the hip, and then turn it in and open and in. Do the other leg. Up to the side, in, side, in. All right, now we're going to move into the pose, which is called Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So step the right foot forward. So look what happened here. I feel the full rotation of the femur, and now my hips go together with it. I'm going to walk up into, come up with my torso. And make sure, now this is very important, in the other poses the heels were apart. Now if I draw a line from my heel all the way back, I go to the middle of my foot. So it's heel to arch, heel to arch. So they are in the same line. My pelvis is flat now, facing the side of the mat. And my knee, again, let's try to get a 90-degree angle. Same thing on the other pose. I'm going to try to lift the inner arch. So I'm going to lift the toe, lift the inner arch of the foot to get that leg strong, on fire. I'm going to sink deep, opening the seat, as if I was opening the seat bones. And don't let the knee collapse. Keep it on track. Keep it on the track of the second toe. Now the torso is right over the hips. We look at the shoulders on the other side. Nice. Inhale here. And exhale. The way that we exit, we're gonna windmill. So right arm goes first, left arm follows, the leg follows, and then you step back. Remember plank, open the chest, suck the belly, tuck the tailbone, lean forward, bend the elbows, and then Bhujangasana, Cobra pose, exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Alright, we're gonna take the left foot between the hands. The left foot between your hands, back foot spins 90 degrees. I'm gonna come up with my torso. My torso is right in the line of the hips. I'm gonna bend that knee, strong in the back leg. Now, look at the shoulders. What happened with the shoulders and the arms? Some people may come here, some others back. I wanna be right in the line of the hips, okay? Now, shoulders down and back, palms up, elongate. Stretch the arms out, and then only from the wrist or from the elbows actually turn your palms down. Bend the front knee a little more. Get a little deeper. Get a little deeper. Make sure that you're not going forward. You're not either back. You're right in the middle. Look over your shoulder. Extend. Be awake here on your right hand. Keep it active. Most of the time people forget about the back hand. And now inhale here. Exhale, windmill it down, and spin the back leg, back into plank. Inhale, and exhale. Nice. All right, so let me show you another pose that we've been doing a lot. And it's repeated over and over in every single yoga class, but we don't usually take time to study the pose. So from here, coming to plank, lower down, and belly down. So it's called Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. I'm gonna start from my feet. Feet are active, no like those. Like those feet are not active. So I'm gonna bring the inner heels in, pressing the top of the feet. And I'm pressing so much that now my legs are active, my knees are lifting. Now from here, I'm gonna bring the hands in, and my hands I'm gonna draw towards my belly. So when I draw my hands in, shoulders go back, away from the floor, legs active, shoulders back, drawing the hands towards my belly, chest back, chest back. All right, so it's no push-up, it's no pushing up away from the floor. It is drawing in. And then exhale, transition into all four if you like, or child's pose, tuck the toes, and downward facing dog. All right, so again, you can stay in downward dog, or you can take it down into child's pose, have a little rest. But again, you try to record all this in your hard drive, and every time that you practice, remember those little nuances, those little details. That will help you to actually transform your practice and the patterns of the body. Let's do now one balance pose. So from downward dog, look in between your hands, bend the knees, and step the feet between your hands, or you can just walk your feet. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hands into the hips, inhale halfway up. Exhale, bend. Roll all the way up. And here we are. Now, another basic pose that you see it everywhere, in magazines, in every yoga studio, is called tree pose. So let's take a look at tree pose. I'm gonna again activate that foot, because this is my root. Those are the roots of the tree, right? This is the trunk. Those are the roots. So I'm rooting down, grounding. From there, I'm gonna hug this leg up. I'm gonna look at one point in front of me to to be able to balance better. Now let that knee come into the line of the hip, open it to the side. Now soften your face. Catch your ankle and bring it up as high as you can. Some of you may not be able to come up high here, up here. So then go lower, below the knee or above. Never, never on the knee. My knee moves back, right knee back, hip in. Usually this is what happens. I'm going to bring my hip in. Palms in front of your chest. Or, if you're able, look forward, arms up. Nice. Exhale, down. Now, let me tell you one thing on the other side. We'll do it. I'm pressing my foot against my leg, leg against the foot. That fight in between my foot and my leg is what is going to give me the roots to go up as a tree. Okay? So, get your foundation first. You can micro bend at the right leg. Once you're ready, hug. Get the knee at the level of the hip and open as if you were opening a door. To side. So see what happened with the hip? I'm going to bring it in. Catch. Up. So you can make little sounds if you need to. Sometimes it helps to make some soundtracks. So hips in, foot presses against the leg, leg presses against the foot. I get that energy. Up or here. Then you can play around in this pose. You can do a lot of things. You can close one eye, you can close the other, you can close both. It gets a little wiggly. Okay? And every time that you finish, when you come down as the pose, just take always a moment to feel what has the pose left in my body. What is the feeling? How do I feel my legs? How do I feel my mind, my breath? All right. So now from Tadasana, we're going to move back down to the floor to do one more back bend. So again, applying everything that we've learned, root through your legs, micro bending at the knees, inhale, elongate from the sides of the body and arms, exhale, draw your belly in as you dive forward. If you need to micro bend the knees or bend the knees, do so. Inhale, halfway up, pull by 2 strings from the crown of the head and sitting bones, and then exhale, ground your hands, step back, knees down. Now, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to use my block. Again, you can use anything that you have at home. You don't need to have a block. Something that similar shape. I'm going to use the heels of my hands to support the block. To hold the block. So I'm pressing my hands in so much that my arms are shaking. I'm going to inhale here and try to extend the arms. And this, believe me, is hardcore. It may not look like I'm working, but I'm working a lot. My arms are shaking now, but I'm keep squeezing the block with both hands. Don't let your head go forward. Move your head back. Breathe if you can. Exhale, release. You should feel cramp sensation in your arm. So we'll do one more time. I'm squeezing the block and extending the arms. But look what happened on the shoulders. This is the most important part of it. I'm gonna roll the shoulders back as I extend the arms. 3, 2, 1, exhale, release. So you can do it at home, you can do it all day if you like to. That was enough for me. So now we're gonna put together that movement of the shoulders, the integration of the knee and the movement of the pelvis. So I'm going to squeeze the block again in between my legs to keep the legs grounded. I'm pressing the top of the feet against the floor firmly. So my top of the feet are going down. I'm squeezing the block, and I'm going to send my pubic bone, this part, forward as I bring my hands into my lower back. Shoulders back, remember, squeezing the block. Now you're squeezing the block between your elbows. Back, and now look down at your chest. Try to touch your chest with your chin. Keep that, look up. Don't drop your head like so. Keep looking up. Nice, and inhale, come back. Again, the shaking is good. It's because your muscles are working. Probably your core is working a lot. Your legs will be working because you're holding the block in between. Okay? So now we're going to try the full pose. If you're not able to touch your heels, then you keep hands into your lower back. If you are able to touch your heels, this is what we're going to do. We're going to roll the arms, open. Look what happened at the shoulders. I have the back bend already. So I'm going to inhale, send the pubic bone forward, shoulders back, hold one heel, hold the other, send the pubic bone forward, squeeze the block, look at my chest, look forward, tone the muscles of the neck. The muscles of the neck are strong, and then look up. And breathe if you can. And inhale, come belly first, chest, shoulders, head last. Okay, so it's like a wave. And to release all that pressure, we're gonna take a little, actually let's do a rabbit pose. So open the legs, get your head in between your knees, and then hold your heels round. I can't talk in this pose, so I'm gonna be quiet. And come back. All right. I'm gonna cross my ankles, sit. After back bends, it's very good for the spine to release the spine and to gain more mobility, to do some twisting. So I'm gonna cross my right leg in. Look at the heel is almost touching my butt, on the side of my butt. And then the left crosses over. And then I'm gonna sit upright. Now, some of you may need to sit on a block. The block is good because it gives you more, give you the chance and the opportunity to lengthen a little more, to get taller and to get more space, to get more space for the twist to happen. I'm gonna press this foot down. This is very important. That foot have to be rooting down. And I'm gonna inhale, get my left hand in my left hip and elongate the right side of the body. As I exhale, I go all the way to the outer side of my leg. And then I twist here. Option 1 is here or here. Option 2. Option 2 will be the binding. So you can go with your hand in between, get a hold of your left wrist, and then bind. But this is plenty. This is fine. Okay? So I will stay here today. Look what is happening in my spine. I'm more than twisting, I'm lengthening, creating a space. I'm supporting myself here as well with my left hand and looking over the left shoulder. So it's not like trying to twist like so, but it's going up, tall and up. Okay, so to come back, inhale, and we switch sides. And this time I'm going to show you on the side so you can see what is happening on the side. So I'm going to cross my left leg. If you don't have a block, remember you're going to be sitting on the floor. That's fine. I like to use the block. Sorry, I have to switch the other side. I like to use the block because because it gives me the chance to go a little higher. I'm gonna cross first here, inhale, exhale, inhale, lengthen the spine, open the chest, arm against the leg, leg against the arm. So my leg is moving that way, my arm is going the opposite direction, therefore I can twist. If you like to, you can go for the bind, or just stay here. This is fine. And so every time that you inhale, you go tall, up. Every time that you exhale, you twist a little more. And inhale, come back, and do the crossing of the legs, stretch the legs, give it a little shake. So now we're going to extend the legs forward, and we're going to do Baddha Konasana. So I'm asking you to bring your feet together, close to your pubic bone. And some of you may be sitting on the floor. Again, if you have a block, I'm a big fan of the block. So you can sit on a block and then find the sit bones. You know those pointy bones that you have in your body? Find them and sit up into your sit bones. And then imagine that your legs actually are not going down to the floor, but they're going out. So instead of jamming my knees down to the floor, which is going to hurt the knees or the hips, I'm going to think about going out to the sides. Out to the sides. You see? And then down. So I'm going out. Hands can be behind you, lifting your chest, and then down. Okay? So it's no putting pressure. Now from here, I can walk my hands forward, keep my spine straight, and switch my hands in front of me. I can very slowly now begin to round the spine, because I'm going to take it more as a restorative pose, and come all the way down. Now, if your head is far away from the floor, and if you are not sitting on a block, or if you have a second block, put it in your forehead. Otherwise, just stay wherever you are. Just couple breaths here. 3, 4. Keep thinking and sending the knees to the sides. Now inhale, and now I'm going to try to lengthen the spine. And walk up. Nice. And very slowly bring the knees in. And I'm going to lie on my belly. Oh, sorry, on my back. This is one of the last poses that we're going to do today. Very important for the more advanced inversions or back bends. Is Setu Baddha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Now I'm going to stand in my shoulders. Okay? So, look, I'm going to press first through my legs to come up with my hips. Okay? And you come as high as you can. As high as you can. Up high. Pressing through the legs. Now, look at my shoulders. They're going to come underneath my back, not low but underneath, and then interlace. See that my knees are not opening wide, they are parallel hip width. Shoulders in, press the shoulders out, press the back of your head down the floor. So press against the floor with your head and increase the space here between your chest and your chin. So you want to send your chest that direction, that way, but you want to always keep space here. A nice arch in your cervical spine. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Working hard in the legs especially, and the shoulders and arms. Shoulders, I will say arms and legs. Nice. Exhale, release. Ooh. Hug your legs from side to side. We're going to do a little happy baby pose before going to Shavasana. So you can hook your big toes or get a hold of the outside of the feet. Or if that's too far, you can even get a hold of your calf muscles, your shin bones. Now usually the hips lift this way. So I'm going to try to get that down the floor. Shoulders down. Taking your attention and your breath into the area of your body that is feeling and experiencing the sensations. And exhale, bend the knees. Hands to the floor. So, from here, I'm going to extend both legs. Turn your palms facing up to the ceiling. And just for a moment, scan your body. Scan your body looking for sensations. From the tip of the toes, all the way to the crown of the head. And see if in that trajectory you may find some areas of the body that are holding some stress, some tension. Once you scan your body and once you visualize those areas of the body that are holding some tensions, and you can breathe into that area and breathe into those parts of the body that are holding restriction or blockages. After you've done that a few times, just let go of that as well and just stay in Shavasana. Just feeling your breath, feeling sensation after the practice. And again, just stay there in Shavasana for a couple minutes. Take as much time, as long as you need. And then very slowly come up whenever you feel ready. Whenever you feel that your body had enough of a relaxation, you come up and sit cross-legged and just contemplate. Don't rush. Remember that this is the most precious moment of the practice. So you stay there. I'm going to leave you here. And I'm going to thank you for your practice. And I hope you see you again soon for another yoga practice session. Namaste.